Stampers, Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. I have a fun card to share with you today, and we're talking about 2-step or 3-step stamping and how to be able to use just a couple ink pads to make beautiful cards. It's kind of a sip card. We've been doing a lot of those lately, but I did add a punch and a little bit of ribbon to it, and you'll see that in just a second. But I also want to share with you why I'm making the cards that I'm making with you today. Recently, and some of you may know this, I hit a huge milestone with Stampin' Up! $1 million in career sales. I hit that 24 years plus 1 day after signing up to be a demonstrator. I swear, my whole life, I feel like I've been a demonstrator. But that's a lot of stamps, ink, and paper. I've sold over $1 million. And you know, I just want to thank you guys because many of you are my customers, and I could never do what I've done and what I truly love to do without you guys. Thank you so much for the love, the support, and for continuing to select me to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now that leads me into the card that I'm going to make, and hang in there, we'll see it in just a second. I knew I needed to make some special cards for some special people in my family. My family, my husband Dave, and my 3 kids have been with me this whole entire journey. When my kids started, they were 2, 4, and 7. They have stories galore to tell you what it was like to grow up being a Stampin' Up! Kid. I'm hoping to get those girls especially to do a video with me here soon. But I knew I needed to make special cards for them because they were part of my story. I could have never done what I did without them. So that's where the design for today's card came from, and I'm excited to share it with you because I think it's a really pretty card, and it's quick and easy and simple, just like everything I do. So without further ado, let's go ahead, flip the camera down, and let's get stamping. Now, before we get into the card per se, just a quick reminder, make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and share me with your crafty friends. That's what enables me to be able to come to you 3 times a week with quick and easy stamping videos. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be that person and send you a catalog. Hop on over to my blog. There'll be a link down in the video description, and over there you can request your free copy of a catalog. Now, enough of that stuff. Let's get stamping. So the stamp sets we're using today are really twofold here. Let's talk about abstract impressions first. This is in the annual catalog. It does have coordinating framelits, but it's one of those stamp sets that really stand alone without the framelits. If you're not into all that cutting stuff or you don't have a big shot, it's a beautiful stamp set that you can do so many different things without the framelits. So if you like the images, don't feel like you need the framelits, but check out those framelits. And remember, if you buy it together, you get 10% off, but make sure you really want both pieces of it. And then we're adding in a greeting from part of my story. Now you only have a couple days left to get this stamp set. This is one of the celebration ones that you can select free with a $50 item. After March 31st, it's gone forever. But the cards I share with you, you could add any greeting. You could actually add a greeting from the stamp set. But like I said, these are special cards, and I really wanted to use the I'm so glad you're a part of my story, because my kids truly were. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with a piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5. Now don't worry so much about all these measurements and the colors and supplies I use, because I'll have them all over there on the blog for you, all the recipes and supply lists. But the main thing I want to share with you, because this is, at least the larger flower, it's a 3-step image. You really don't need 3 different color ink pads. Now you could use 3 different shades of a pink, or different colors, and make pretty flowers as well. But I tend to like to use just 1 ink pad. So we're going to start with the most bold image that's part of this 3-step. So we got 3 stamps here that go to make this flower. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to stamp on scrap paper 2 times. And then stamping number 3 is going on my card. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now notice with my left hand here, I'm kind of spinning my cardstock a little bit each time. And I'm doing that to just make my flowers all look a little different, because they're going different ways rather than, all looking exactly the same. So we've got 4 flowers on there. Then we're going to take the next bold. Okay, so this one's a little bit more detailed. We're going to stamp once on scrap paper and then once on the flower. Now I think anyway, I should say, that these do line up a specific way, but I found it really wasn't necessary. So again, I'm just spinning my cardstock each time so that they kind of hit different spots. And I found they really look good no matter how you lined them up, so you don't have to get all fussy about it. And then we're gonna take the third one and come straight off that ink pad, spin our cardstock around again, and there we've built our flower. And look at the depth you get because you're using the 3 different shades of the exact same ink. We use Gorgeous Grape for that one. Then for the leaf, okay, there's a couple different leaves in here. We're gonna use the bigger one. And again, we're gonna use just 1 ink pad. So we're gonna stamp on scrap paper, and then I'm gonna stamp 2 times. So I'm getting really 2 different shades of this granny apple green here. And we'll go ahead and we'll go around and we'll stamp several of those. Then there's the detailed part of this one, and we'll come straight off that stamp pad and we'll go to the darker one first and then the lighter one. And that way it's 1 shade darker for each of the leaves that I've stamped. So there's those. Now there's another flower in this stamp set, and this one really only has 2 pieces to it. So we'll use Mango Melody, and we're going to stamp on scrap paper 1 time and then on our card. 1 time in our card, and we're just sticking these into a few random places. Then we can use the detailed one, and once again, I'm not getting all fussy about lining it up because I do think it goes well no matter where. Whoops, we're throwing it around here. Straight off the ink pad. So now we have the 2 different shades there. And finally, we have a smaller leaf that we're going to put on this one. So we'll do the bold part first, and this one we're going to just add to these little flowers. Scrap paper first to lighten it up. Whoops. And let's see, we're just kind of filling this in. And then there's a more detailed piece here that we'll stamp right over it. And this one you do want to kind of line up a little bit. Doesn't matter a whole lot. Oops. I was getting in the habit of hitting scrap paper, and I did there too. Okay. There we go. So my goal was just to kind of fill the front of my card. And then there was one other thing I wanted to add. Now this is a stamp. I like to call it a Speckle Stamp. It is not in either one of the stamp sets we were using. It's actually from Timeless Textures, and it's just this little guy. There's actually several stamp sets, and there's been several in the past that have had a similar image. But I like to take black, and I'm gonna just add some speckles. Now use a light touch. I don't wanna like get, press really hard and get it really dark. I'm gonna just barely touch it. And we're gonna do it real light in a few random places. I don't wanna like overkill it, okay? We tend to wanna just stamp, 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 and then it just gets overkilled. So there is the front, and now let me bring in my finished card for you. Magic of TV here. You can see how I did a layer of black behind it. I'm a black freak. I think black just really makes colors pop. You can see here's this, I'm so glad you're part of my story. And I did emboss this with white embossing powder on black, punched it out with the pretty label punch. Then I just wrapped this beautiful polka dot tool. Love this ribbon, guys. It's easy to tie, it's flat, it doesn't put a lot of bulk on it. It's just pretty. Wrapped that around, added this with dimensionals, and layered it onto a piece of crumb cake for my card base. Then inside I just stamped a little bit as well. Now the fun thing is, like I said, I have 2 daughters. I wanted to make these for both of them. And especially growing up, one was always the purple girl and one was always the pink girl. So I thought, we would customize these to each of them. So I've got my pink one here. It's stamped the exact same way. I used lovely lipstick this time, but these flowers are stamped the same way, 3 different times. So the bold one is scrap paper twice, and then scrap paper once, and then straight off the pad. So there's that one. And as always, don't forget the envelopes. Have those ready to go. So I hope you enjoy this card. I love the stamp set. It's bold. It's easy to work with. It makes gorgeous cards. And like I said, this greeting, if you don't have that part of my story, you could put any greeting here. And the ones that actually come in our our stamp set would work perfect for that as well. So as always, guys, if you have questions at all, I am here to help you with all of your stamping needs, your Stampin' Up! Questions, help you in any way that I can. I've been doing this for over 24 years now. It's my full-time job and I absolutely love it. And my passion is teaching you to make quick and easy cards. My other passion is helping you have a successful Stampin' Up! Business if that's also something that you're interested in. If you are, I would love to talk to you. So until I stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.